problem is from Chapter 5, Review, and it is problem number 18. The problem simply asks to evaluate, or maybe not simply, to evaluate the integral from 0 to 1 of sine three pi t dt. Now, this is a perfect opportunity to look at the U substitution approach, because it appears that we have a composite function, and in this composite function I would argue, looking at the inner function of the sine function, I would say that U should be set equal to 3 pi t. Now du then is equal to constant 3 pi times, dt. So you can see over here that we have sine of u, but we don't have du because we're missing a factor of 3 pi. So in order to accomplish that setup that will allow me to move to here, let me work down, I'm going to do the following. I'm going to put in a multiple of 1 over 3t outside the integral symbol, and I still have sine 3 pi t, but now times 3 pi dt. And this now becomes 1 over 3 pi, and our integral now is the simpler integral of sine u du. However, I have to look at, here I was working with an integral of t, and my t values ran from 0 to 1, so I need to look now at the relationship. If t equals 0, then looking at the first equation up here relating t and u, you can see that u must be 3 pi times 0, so u is equal to 0. I can now write in my lower limit of integration, which is now a value of u as opposed to being a value of t as it was in the beginning. When t is equal to 1, the upper limit of integration, using the same equation up here, my u value is equal to 3t. So my limits have changed. Whoops, I said 3t. Sorry, that should be 3 pi. So my limits have changed. 3 pi. And now I'm ready to proceed. My integral will be, since the integral of sine is negative cosine, I'll get negative cosine u evaluated between 0 and 3 pi. The cosine, so that's 1 over 3 pi. And I now have the cosine of 3 pi, which is negative 1, but I've got negative 1. which is 1, minus the negative cosine of 0. Cosine of 0 is 1. The negative cosine then would be negative 1. And so this ends up with a value of 2. 1 minus negative 1 is 2. 2 times 1 over 3 pi is 2 over 3 pi. And that's the answer to our problem.